Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. We're back with some LCS offseason news once again. We're talking about the latest and greatest rumors, speculation news, all that good stuff going on in the League of Legends professional scene. Today, more specifically, we're talking about Team Solo Mid once again because they're one of the few teams in the world that doesn't have their roster at least somewhat finalized at this point. We're like almost a week. I think we're exactly a week now past the day that free agency started. And it seems like TSM has more questions now than even when free agency began, which is absolutely crazy. That's not usually a good sign, and it means some things that they obviously tried to do have kind of fallen apart. So we have this tweet Leaker Zoo replied to. This is kind of a translated tweet from Weibo, where they said that Swordart may not join TSM, and roughly the translation they're saying is that this means there's a very, very slim chance for him to join TSM. And that's kind of what we've been hearing recently, that yes, the negotiations are kind of going back and forth, but there's a bunch of taxation issues and immigration issues, and pretty much there's like a rumor that Swordart would likely be taxed by both Taiwan and China and end up losing like close to 2/3 of his money or something crazy. So even though TSM's offering him like $1.5 million per year, making him the second highest paid player in the LCS, he would still like just be getting a pretty much regular salary. It wouldn't really make sense for him to come all the way over to North America, but obviously they're having a bunch of different progress and discussions and negotiations and all that stuff and trying to work things out both between the player and the organization, between the organization, the player, and just like government officials and government agencies and stuff, which is just a whole mess. But it's obviously proven to be much more difficult to sign Swordart than TSM would have originally expected. That hasn't really worked out. Their whole offseason philosophy was around signing Swordart, spending a ton of money on him, going cheaper in the top lane with huni, and then kind of having their roster filled out and having still a pretty solid team to hopefully compete for like second or third in the LCS. But now all of a sudden they might be likely to rebuild. As Leaker Zoo says, well, it looks like TSM is going to be rebuilding. We saw Reggie tweet this out or post this on Reddit the other day. Unfortunately not, only 1/3 has been signed. There's still a chance we would get everyone we have wanted, but if not, we're rebuilding. So that's what he said. And then again, since it looks like Swordart is most likely not going to be coming to North America, they might start rebuilding. And what does exactly rebuilding mean? We're not sure. Who would their support be at that point? I don't know. Some people are saying bring back Biofrost, have him go. Some people are saying maybe Zeyzal would come in. Neither one of those guys are really pieces in a rebuild, in my opinion. They're both kind of veterans who you know what you're getting with at this point, with probably not much room to grow. But the starting AD carry would be lost. Doublelift would retire, which would be an absolutely massive story, losing both Doublelift and Bjergsen in the same offseason. But Lost coming in as a young AD carry, having a veteran support could have some value there, kind of teaching him how to play, just how to be a professional, how to be LCS caliber, how to play on a good team, but then also just, you know, the ins and outs of daily pro life, but also playing at the highest level and teaching him how to lane and all that stuff. You know, Biofrost and Zeyzal could definitely do that, but I wouldn't really be looking as either one of them as kind of my long-term support solution, so I don't really know exactly how I feel. I would guess I'd rather have Biofrost than Zeyzal at that point, but yeah, I'm not really, as a TSM fan, not really excited about either one of those guys. The top lane, I have no idea what they would do. Because here's the thing, TSM Academy, they had Dokla in top lane and Treats as support. Treats is gone now. He's in Europe. He signed with SK Gaming. So TSM has Biofrost and, you know, nobody. So I don't know who their support would be at that point. And then in top lane, they had Broken Blade and Dokla. Broken Blade's gone. He's in Europe. He's playing for Schalke. Dokla was not really a top caliber Academy top laner. We've seen him in the LCS before. He hasn't been that good. I wouldn't really, you know, consider him a top laner of the future either. So it's weird that in TSM's like kind of two of their weaker positions, top lane support, that's where they're looking to build around. So they're going to have to bring some other people in. Obviously, this would mean the huni to TSM deal falls through. It might fall through. It might not. Maybe they still sign huni for the top lane just to have an option for a while before they get another Academy top laner. I mean, I really don't know. All the rumor and leak accounts and everyone in the scene right now is saying that TSM is being very, very tight-lipped about everything. They're being very, very secretive, and probably for good reason. Probably because part of it is they don't know exactly what they're doing at this point, for one, because their original plan kind of fell through, and two, they don't want just more random rumors starting to swirl around like that's already been happening. But yeah, the latest rumor and update is that people are saying they're being the upper management is being very tight-knit about everything. They're being very secretive, and apparently they're getting closer to figuring out the roster. But again, a week into a free agency, most teams have their full rosters completely locked up. It's kind of crazy that TSM still has questions in 3 different positions. They have Spica lined up for jungle. They have PoE lined up for mid. But that's it. And other than that, we still have no idea who the top laner is going to be. No idea who the support's going to be. And we haven't even got final word on Doublelift yet, so that's pretty crazy. But the latest update coming from some news sources is that Swordart, again, we heard yesterday, we're hearing it today, is very unlikely to be coming to TSM. A slim chance, not no chance. There's still, maybe something happens in these negotiations or immigration talks or whatever's going on. But yeah, it's not looking good. And if Swordart doesn't come to TSM, the whole roster's going to have to blow up and they're going to have to rebuild. And again, I don't really know what rebuild exactly means. Everyone kind of has a different definition of it. Every team has their own take on rebuilding. Some rebuild jobs are much more successful than others. Some are even more better planned out than others. It really depends on your management style, your philosophies, all that stuff. And we've never seen TSM rebuild before, so we don't really know what Reggie and the rest of the team thinks about how to do a proper rebuild. And especially with Bjergsen at the helm, a lot of things are going to change with TSM this season, so we really don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see. In Europe, G2, Fnatic, we've had most of those questions answered. Pretty much every LEC team almost has a confirmed lineup at this point. In North America, we've gotten most of the questions answered. We have Perks, we have Team Liquid's whole roster, we have 100 Thieves. We have most of that stuff worked out, but TSM, we're waiting for them. We're waiting on some news. We're waiting for them to start figuring out how to piece this roster together. Being the last team to get your team together is never a good idea. Everyone else has already picked out their best players, the best available stuff, and you're left over with the scraps. I mean, even if you're rebuilding, most of the best available young players are on teams. They're either starting in the LCS or they are on academy teams now. So TSM's in a really awkward position. It'll be interesting to see how they find themselves out of this one. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What should TSM do? Who should their top laner be? Who should their support be? I have no idea. It doesn't seem like they have much of an idea either. Subscribe to update on the latest content. Check me out at Twitch, twitch.tv/I_am_Germ. $25 RP giveaway, first link in the description below. Going to be taking place in just a couple of days. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.